20. After the win. We're most vulnerable after a success. If we love anything, then it is talking about the struggle to succeed. It is about being focused, about showing up every day, and about potentially betting the farm to win. What happens when we win? Well, a lot happens. Entrepreneur Toni Ko felt lost after she sold her cosmetic company to L'Oreal for a reported $500 million. Co-founder Mark Lowe felt disappointed when his company was acquired by Amazon for $550 million. I went through my own challenges after my popular app, Cuddler, was acquired. The toughest part, though, is allowing ourselves to struggle again in our next pursuit. That's why we're more likely to fall after a big win. And often it isn't the positive swing for the fences failure, the soul-crushing kind. The ego is the enemy author Ryan Holiday shared exactly why with entrepreneur Tim Ferriss. He says, "Ego is dangerous when you're aspiring to something, no question. But when you are successful and you've built this thing, and then you're trying to do your next thing, when you've convinced yourself that everything you touch turns to gold, that's where ego is the most destructive." It breaks down into a couple reasons. First, your ego, like all of our egos, is insatiable and is hungry for more praise. It is the equivalent of a lab rat being given a sugar cube. It is fine beforehand, but once that sweet treat is introduced, it will get all agitated and angry if it does not get that sweet treat again. We have to train ourselves not to take our success as the default. Instead, the practice of our work should be the default. Second, you have taken your mastery for granted. Do you remember the first time you started your profession? I started crafting stories when I was a toddler, so I seriously cannot remember when I began narrating to an audience. The longer you've been doing something, the less you remember the pain, struggle, and hard work it initially required. It is why you should diversify your social circles and create side hustles to make sure you are not mentally complacent. The best cure? Always be a beginner at something.